panel. Better known as Total and Complete Addiction to PVC. Japanese figures, toys, and collecting, a primer by an editor, a writer, a photographer, and a snob. My name is Colette. I run a toy website called TummelPop.com. And let's see, our website has been going for about a little over 2 years now. We try to offer as much as we possibly can for collectors for every different type of figure. So we don't just write about these figures, we write about all kinds of different collectibles. But we have quite a bit of anime PVC coverage on our site. So if you are into that, please come check us out. Next up on our roster is a writer.
Hi, that's me. I'm Pedro Cortez. Thank you, thank you. I'm an associate editor at TummelPop.com. I tend to write features and I do reviews of figures, mostly One Piece. So, yeah, represent.
And I'm Pedro's boss, so if he doesn't take upskirts, he gets fired.
I love my boss.
Next up, we have a photographer, Clint, from Happy Soda. By the way, in screenshots,
they're screensaver.
Thanks. Those are all Clint's photos, so you guys are just aware. Clint?
Hi, I'm Clint. My site's mainly figures of girls. I don't do, like, you know, dudes. So like cute girl figures, yeah, my site's a good place to go among others, but I've been doing this since '06, and the figure blogging scene has really gotten a lot bigger since I started, so it's fun.
I also wanted to throw in there that before TummelPop started, that Clint's site was one of the sites that not only inspired our site to be started, but also inspired me to become a toy photographer. So, thank you, Clint. And of course, the snob. Employed by Good Alter Factory.
Okay, I don't really have a website, but it's a running joke that I'm a little bit biased on the figures that I buy, so.
So basically, when we were writing this panel, I had to be like, okay, so Abel, we can't talk about the reasons why you should only buy Good Smile Factory products. We have to make it a little bit more accessible than that. So we can talk about that after the panel if anybody's interested. Okay, so that's who we are. So to get into collecting a little bit more, one of the most frequent questions that I get on TummelPop is in regards to, wow, well, I really love toys, but I want to start a collection, but I don't really know how. Where do I begin? And for me, I find that interesting because I always feel like, for me, I was drawn immediately to what toys I like the look of, which seems like a very simple way to start. But some people are a lot more like methodical about it. They're like, well, you know, what's the best thing for my money? What's not going to fall apart? What, you know, should I buy, you know, this figure of, you know, Kanu, or should I buy the other 400 figures of Kanu? So we thought that it might be helpful for you guys to kind of like say, well, I don't know where to begin. Let's talk a little bit about good places to begin. There's kind of like a holy trinity of where to begin, at least in all of our opinions, and it's Figma, Rebeltech, and Nendroids. All three figures are really reasonably priced. Good Smile Company is responsible for Nendroids. They usually cost anywhere from between $29 to $39 a pop, and I have two here that you can see. If you'd like to see them after the panel, you certainly can. They come with multiple faces, so not only do you get a figure that's really fun to play with and posable as well, but you also get additional faces, sometimes additional accessories that come with it. By the way, if you see these on the con floor for $50 and $60, just so you know, that's a little bit of a gouge, but they're probably stuff that's been out for a while, so that's the reason why they're a little bit more expensive. But these are a great way to start if you have no idea where to begin. They're very cute, as you can obviously see. Then there's Figma. Figma are a little less expensive than these are. They're usually about 20 to 22.
25.
Safely, right? Same kind of story. They're made by Max Factory. They come with a ton of extra accessories. Unfortunately, we don't have one up here right now, but they are definitely a great product. And Rebeltech is kind of the same idea. Usually like $1 or $2 cheaper than Figma's. Also in a really wide range of characters, and they also come with a ton of extra stuff. And everything is posable. So if you actually like to play with toys, or if, like us, you've gone to the next level and you like to photograph toys, you can do a lot with these and get a lot out of them. And toys you can actually play with is something that I think is kind of cool for all of us, because, you know, it's great if you can just look at it and dust it, but it's kind of fun if you can play with it. And I have to mention this, and I didn't take it out of the box, but this set is from a company that called Fat, and they do it to go with your but like this is a play set that comes with like, it's a little room, you guys can see it afterwards. It's got like taiko drums in it, it's a classroom. These are amazing, and they're usually also about $20 to $22. And if you really want to get like massive mileage out of getting awesome photos of your figures, this is just awesome. So anyway, that's my piece on where to begin. So maybe we should move on next to.
Well, now that you want to start collecting, you have some ideas. So how much are you willing to pay for it?
Yeah. So. Oh, right. Sorry. I knew that. Hey. Hey, do you want to talk about why?
All right. Why the Holy Three? Just a joke. All right. Well, why collecting? I really got into it because I started collecting trading figures. We don't really have any trading figures up here right now. Most of the stuff you see here is starting with the higher tier. When you go out to the theater room, you see usually the blind boxes. Boxes, they have random figures from different shows. They're the cheap way, a real good gateway. You do that. They're not really high quality, but what happens is it's just like a good drug addiction. You start getting one of them, then you have to buy the next one, then you have to finish that set, then you go to the next set, then you go to the next set, etc., etc. And that's how I began. I started collecting them at my local anime shop, and eventually I worked my way up to getting PVCs, and that's sort of what it is. And for me, it just got to the point when I liked having nice little pieces of art on my desk. And really, as you can see, you may pay a little more for them than you would a toy at Toys R Us or even a trading figure, but you get I honestly think these are like little pieces of art, and they're pretty. And that's why I collect.
Thanks, Pedro. Another cool thing that I wanted to say, and I forgot previously, was that the range of toys we have up here goes anywhere from like spending like $20 on a toy to spending like
over like 100, yeah.
Way more, over 100.
Yeah.
But we wanted to bring a wide range so people would understand that if you want to collect, you don't have to be excluded by money, and there's no reason to feel like you need to. I mean, I know sometimes when you go on a dealer's room, you're like, oh my gosh, these figures are $200. And you may want that, and then maybe that's something you build up to, but if you really want to collect, it's very accessible monetarily. So
you'll find something in your price range.
Yeah. Anyway, enough out of me on that. So I'm going to move over to Clint next so he can fill us in a little bit more about the hobby. Clint?
Hi. Well, why would someone take pictures of something that they already have and put it up on the internet? Well, for me, it's because my friends don't care. And on the internet, someone might, because on the internet, someone cares about anything. So, I started off pretty modest, I just take pictures here and there, but then it started growing into the photography leads to an appreciation of the figure. When you look at it just, straight on with your own eyes, your brain kind of fills in some things. There's other things going on in your head, but when you're looking through the camera, it's pretty much reduces everything to the figure itself. So when you're looking at the figure through the lens, you get to see what the artist was put into the figure itself, how the artist sculpts the limbs and all that kind of stuff. So for me, the photography, and for other people I imagine, because like a lot of people on the internet do it, it's a big value add. I mean, it gets more out of your toys. Plus it's fun. I mean, a lot of people, they don't really have anything cool to photograph, and these are pretty freaking cool to photograph. So that's my spiel.
Thank you, Clint. By the way, as I said before, we do have a screensaver up of some of Clint's photos, but we also have his first collected book here, so if you guys would like to check it out after the panel, it's up here for you to check out. And maybe Cabell can fill us in on what the Toy Snob thing is all about.
Well, I guess the term Toy Snob came up with time as I became, I have been collecting since 2002 maybe. The first figures that I got were some extra bonus figures that came out with some DVDs, and then from that point I started to get more into it. Well, it's just like anything else that you get into. As time happens, as you buy your merchandise, you get to learn more about it. You get to learn about what brands work for you, what brands are not that great in terms of quality. You get to learn about what to look after, things like that. Adding to what Clint said, he mentioned that there's people on the internet who may care about what you do, and that's the fact, because Colette and I were some of those persons who care about it. For example, I bought that figure because of Clint's photography. When I went to go to his site, and I liked the figure, and I bought it.
Which one? That sensei right here?
Yeah, that sensei right there. It was totally his fault.
You blame him for your bill every month.
That one is also his fault. And this one, actually. No, so the thing is that what I'm trying to say is that as you go into, the reason why I became a snob, or a snob as the people say it, is because I became extremely picky, because, you know, this is something that you spend your time, you spend your money on. I think it's something that I learned is you need to be as informed as you can. Usually when you go to a website, they put a lot of information that is helpful to you. Sometimes people only care about, oh, it's a character that I like, I just buy it right away, I don't care because I like the character. But I think at the same time, it's your money, take care of it. If you're going to see a figure of a character you like, or if it's a popular character, you can bet that there will be figures of other brands with different designs or different poses. So sometimes it's better to just wait and see for something that is actually better, or sometimes you're just able to compare them left and right. So, for example, the pink figure right there.
Which one? This one?
Oh, no, yeah, that's a character from a game. This figure came out last year, but before here there were about 3 or 4 figures already in the market. But, you know, I knew that something better was going to come out, and as you can see in the picture, I think it's a kind of figure you don't need to see. I mean, you don't need to I lost track. Yeah, it's easy to see how it's very well done. And you don't need to know the character, you know?
Actually.